from dotablast.com. We're in Bucharest at Starlight 12. I have Kelly and Loda here with me. Hi guys.
Hello.
So happy to see you guys again.
Thanks.
How's it going? How are you?
It's good. Like we went for Chinese food earlier today. We took a taxi out and it was really good. It was one of the best restaurants we've been to in Bucharest.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's basically summer here already. So
Yeah, the weather is
nice.
so good. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were lucky with the weather in Sweden, but when you're lucky with the weather in Sweden at this point of the year, it's like below 20 something, but here it's really nice weather. So I really enjoy
hot
it.
for this time of the year,
Yeah.
actually.
I like the city as well a lot. We went to Old Town yesterday to try to cheer up after the loss, and then we actually met up with Secret randomly. So we just went around a bit there as well. So yeah, I really like the city.
So you were here last spring for local live
DreamHack.
event.
DreamHack
DreamHack
Open.
Bucharest, yeah, but it wasn't like they weren't hosting a tournament back then. It was their own tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And you won that,
Yeah.
right? First land after, I don't know.
Like after like maybe like 4 months, we haven't won a single LAN event,
Yeah.
and then we came here and yeah, we did pretty well and we won.
So this was Starlight at 12. Was your first LAN with the new roster?
Yes.
It went pretty well, don't you think? Considering.
Yeah, sure. Considering it went quite well. But I mean, at the same time, it feels like the only game we played properly was against Secret because we were really. I mean,
Motivated.
it's something special. Every time we play Secrets, we're very motivated to beat them, and
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, it's something like maybe something like the old Navi days. I mean, it's Poppy and Kuroki, some rivalry there, and then it's also S4 obviously, who left our team, and it always means a bit more to beat them.
Yeah, there's
But-
some rivalry there. Right.
But I mean, other than that, yeah, sure, it was decent. It was a good experience, and it was really nice for us to meet up after quite a long time and just bond as a team and yeah, talk about everything, talk about the game. We can look at the games we lost and really analyze it. And it's easier to understand each other when you can sit down and talk face to face. So sure, it's we feel happy at least. The team is still very positive and happy, so
And
that's a
you're
good
gonna
thing, I
go-
guess.
You're gonna go boot camping after this
And
pretty soon.
pretty soon. I don't think right away, but in a week perhaps we will start camping for I-League.
Yeah, we'll probably book camp like 2 weeks before I-League. Yeah.
Great, best of luck to you guys with everything. I was just wondering, Jonathan, since you've had one of the most prolific Dota careers and you've won virtually everything there is, what keeps you going?
What keeps me going? I mean, I guess in a way what keeps me going is that I kind of want to push the boundaries and see how long I can feel that I can feel myself that I'm good enough. I mean, sometimes you do bad, in some teams you play worse, and during some periods you play bad, but I think that every single Dota player or player in any game, they know when they are good or they have the capability of being good. And once you notice that your skill or whatever that makes you be able to perform in games falls down, I think you lose your confidence and you lose faith in yourself, etc. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to play for as long as I can, and I feel that I can perform, and I want to win as much as possible. I mean, the dream is probably to win 2 TIs before I retire, but yeah, I mean, it's a very hard goal to reach, but that's what I strive for. And I mean, at the same time, I also have Aki, so even though we've had tough times, it's nice to have someone you play with that you feel so comfortable with. That's, yeah, I mean, we pretty much think the same, and it's very easy to play together. It's like me and Paikat had a discussion about that the other day. Like, the thing when me and Aki plays, we really play our roles. Like, I can play carry and he can play support, and Aki is like, he plays support he really plays the support. He's not greedy. He does his job so that the
He is
carry
the
can.
support.
Yeah, but exactly, he's the definition of support, pretty much. It's a bit like puppy or.
A picture of him
FY.
actually.
PPD,
in the dictionary.
FY. No,
Oh,
but
Frenya,
maybe
more like Frenya,
Fenrir is
yeah.
more that player. Like
Yeah.
they will choose to do the right thing, not to get more out for themselves, but they will trust their team. Like I do my job, so you can do your job, and it's nice to play with someone like that, for sure.
And you guys have this huge fan base that's backing you up constantly. Probably one of the largest there is out there in the Dota scene. And for most teams, how things go is that when they lose, people are starting to turn their backs on them, but not your case, because they're sticking with you through thick and thin, and they're really, really great fans to have. What makes you different?
Well, for one, I think I want to thank you for saying that. Maybe
That's
it's a bit,
true.
maybe
Yeah.
it's a bit too optimistic to say
no,
that. But
no, that's true.
But I understand what you mean. Like, I appreciate Alliance fans a lot. Like, I want them to know because I know for a fact that we have the most loyal fan base around. I wouldn't say compared to other teams because they are probably players, like fans who follow players particularly, and that is a huge reason why like fans would change, teams to support. But for Alliance, it was probably because like we still retain a lot of the members that we had before. We try to communicate with our fans a lot. We try to let them know what's going on. We try to interact with fans a lot, and maybe that's a reason why we keep a large fan base. I mean, honestly, I don't know why you guys support us a lot, but we really appreciate it, and that's a huge reason why like every time we go into a slump, we don't slump as long as other teams. Yeah, like sure we go in a slump, but at least we can place like top 3 or we always qualify for LAN, and there is definitely a reason for that. Playing for fans is
I think you have a huge part in that because I've met team managers, like a lot of them, but you're probably the best one out there, and you're really committed and dedicated. Perfectly honest with you.
Thank you.
Do you have some previous experience in that to prep you for this kind of work, or did you just learn on the job?
When I was very young, I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike, and then I used to play a lot of video games, obviously, and that let me understand what players would want, like what would they expect, like what would they want to have when they go on tours. And then I started working in a company called O3D, and it was a corporate company, and that taught me like what was the right way to behave around, like let's say your sponsors or around like organizers,
to be professional about
like to be professional. And in between, I also worked as a personal assistant for my real job because we didn't make enough money last time to ever do like video games full time. So I worked as a personal assistant for a CEO of a huge oil and gas company. And that taught me a lot on how to handle people, and like basically when you're a PA.
Stop making faces.
Basically when you're a PA,
young man.
basically when you're a PA, you have to take care of a lot.
I'm the most difficult one to handle of all the players. That's why I'm making the faces.
I mean, it's hard. I don't want to blow my own horn, so I'm a bit like embarrassed, and I don't like to talk well about myself. So maybe Jonathan can talk about me. I mean, he's my captain.
But didn't you manage a CS team as well?
Yeah, I actually managed 3 CS team, and I also managed HY's like one of his first Dota 1 teams.
Are you like Wonder Woman or something? When do you have the time for all that?
That was when I was like between 16 to 20, I think.
Oh,
yeah. So I think
I started really
I had managed like 4 teams before, back when we had like no money, and like what I could got from like let's say a sponsor like Asus was like $5,000, and that we were like so happy to get $5,000, and yeah, that was default.
So he's the most difficult P in the pod, right? That's a bit expected because you guys are partners, both professional and in your personal lives. And I know from personal experience that's tough. There are rough times when you start mixing those.
For sure, I think that. I think at this point we handled it very well.
Yeah, after 3 years of like a lot of failures and like success and failures, we kind of know. It's more like it's always hard to work together as a couple.
I mean, the problem is when you really think different about something, and
About Dota stuff?
Yeah.
Dota
A lot.
stuff. I mean, I think
Roster, everything.
Leaving the toilet.
I think that when it comes to certain
I'm not.
when it comes to certain things, I mean, Kelly doesn't really.
I'm very stubborn.
She's not so involved anymore when it comes
Yeah.
to. She doesn't comment so much about Dota and like pure Dota, and she respects that she trusts my opinion, even if we go through tough slumps or whatever. Like, she trusts my opinion, and that's something that's very, very nice. And what I do on the other end is that before I usually, I mean, I'm a bit more involved in the company than most players are, but
On the business side.
yeah,
of things,
exactly.
yeah.
But I used to try to be even more involved, or like I got myself involved when she would talk about, and I would ask stuff, etc. But in the end, she told me, and I realized myself that it's better sometimes that I don't even know certain things that are going on, because I mean, it doesn't really matter if I do, and it will just.
But he just wants to know, so I'm like,
exactly.
do you really want to know?
Yeah.
I don't think you should. And it's also one of the main reasons is because he's the captain. I'm very sure that if he wasn't the captain, it would have also been much easier. But because since he's the captain, I have to work with him the most, and that is when like most arguments happen. Like, let's say
we were very both of us are very
stubborn. like maybe when it comes to, let's say, contracts or like roster, like big stuff we argue, but like maybe more of the small stuff we don't argue.
But I think
much.
it's good. It's good to be able to argue about some things, because then you really.
I like arguing.
Lots of steam.
Yeah,
No, it's more like
because it's like
when we argue, we're not really like angry at each other. It's more like we are talking about stuff.
Yeah, and having like an argument.
when
talking
people,
about stuff in an angry voice.
yes, in an
that's
angry
yours.
voice. Like when people see us talk, like when the team just got to know us, they're like, oh, but stop fighting. And then after a while, they realize that we were not fighting. We just always talk to each other like pretty competitively. We're very competitive as people by nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
We rarely play games together, actually.
Really?
Well, recently though, like
Recently we started same thing there. Like our professional relationship became a lot better, and then we could start playing Dota together again and enjoy ourselves. She plays a sick offlane suit, so
Really?
I get some practice there. Yeah.
Great. So do you guys see yourselves doing this 5 years from now, for example?
If I'm a player in 5 years, or involved.
Or like being involved in the Dota scene.
I think I will be involved in the scene, for sure. Being a player in 5 years, I don't think so, honestly. But yeah.
But do you think things are going to change now with the major tournaments and?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I
involved?
think it will change in the way that it's going to be a lot clearer for teams that they can choose to. I mean, it's scary to prepare for 3 tournaments to get a qualifier for TI, but still it's a lot clearer, because then you will know that you can invest 3 months just for practicing for this one tournament, and you don't show a single strat, and it might be worth it, instead of having to show yourself over and over and over again. I mean, for example, now that we started doing better again, for a while, then we started losing again, but it's like we have to keep playing and we can't come up with new stuff, and then people start analyzing us and we don't really have time to mix it up enough. So I think that is a problem in Dota, that teams play so often that they show too much, and it makes the whole scene less interesting, honestly. So by adding these majors, I think it will breathe a lot of new life into the Dota scene, and it's something that a group of players, like 15 different players, went to the Valve office in February, I think.
Famous meeting.
And that's something that we pushed a lot for, and we were very, very happy when Valve informed us that they were gonna do it, because in the beginning I think that they were a bit. They did question. Yeah, they were quite reluctant to throw themselves into this, but I think that we got them to understand that like what we need is them to step in, because as soon as Valve is involved, the tournament organizers, everyone around it is going to take it a lot more serious, and the fans are going to take it more serious, because they know it's a legit.
Official.
Yeah, so it's
can't
it's
do
it's
any
great.
harm.
Yeah,
No.
I think it's gonna be amazing
yeah,
for
so
sure.
it's gonna grow
Yeah.
for the better, actually.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, for me as a manager, one of the most important thing, of course, besides the stability it provides for the players, is that Valve is finally going to implement roster swapping locks. I mean, as a manager, of course, I care about the players a lot, but sometimes it comes to a point of time where I have no control whether he has a contract or not, and of course, that's not so nice because players should always understand that the contracts are not there just for us from the organization, but for them as well. Like, if you could get kicked any day after you lose like one game, then you have zero security in your job. And with this like player trading lock implemented by Valve, that gives us like a clear guideline for not only for organizations but for players as well to know like, okay, like I really have to be on top of things. I mean, I'm not sure how you feel about it as a player.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay, so along with the announcement for each major, Valve would have like a timeline for when is a period that you're allowed to do trades or swap players or buy players.
Yeah.
And that is part of the system that Valve is
I
going
think
to
that,
implement,
that's
and that's
really
about
good.
the news.
I missed that,
So
but that's
we
very
can't
interesting.
see the phobos from us.
Yeah, but there were
and
actually
then-
some
yeah.
not heated, but there were some players that were arguing a bit with each
for
other
sure.
at the
Like
meeting,
me as well.
at the Valve meeting, because we were discussing this whole thing that some of the players feel that they have the right to break any contract.
Which is ridiculous.
You
I
guys
mean,
should
in
start
a-
an association.
I mean, in a way, I understand. I really understand what they mean. But the thing is that, in the end of the day, something has to be binding, not only for them, but the whole scene. Like this whole situation that happened with Artisan Sai leaving EG led to EY getting kicked from C9 when he had no idea about that. And in the end, he was very happy and lucky, perhaps, that he was able to join EG and do even better. But I mean, it sucked for him, like
Yeah.
he lost, then he will lose his salary, and I mean, he's an amazing player, so he wouldn't have a problem getting a new team. I knew that right away, but still, it's like there has to be stability to protect the players as well. So I think that the lock is probably going to be a very
And
good
so
thing.
this is like what I want players to know. This is coming from a professional player who has played for 10 years. Some players have commented that I became like a little bit biased when I started talking about contracts, but I hope that players know that I've never been like a very biased manager, and coming from a pro player to actually come out and say that contracts are kind of important for not only for us but for players as well. It makes me
For me, it's more about the whole scene.
Yeah, I mean,
as
the whole
soon-
situation
as soon
was
as
just-
all contracts, when they're not, when it feels like they're not
Then
binding
it
at
will
all,
be like those are one.
the sponsors start
Yeah.
being a bit questionable to the
Yeah.
whole scene, because if they can't have control of their investment, why will they invest?
That's true.
And that's what I mean. It's like, it's just business, and if you want the scene to grow, you need to make it professional.
Yeah, you can't keep it chaotic
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
And I wish that some of the younger players can understand that, for us who have been around for a while, what we understand is we have seen scenes go bankrupt. For example, Dota 1, we had no salary and no travel allowance. For Warcraft 3, the market burst because every player was getting overpaid, and in the end, all the teams went bankrupt.
True story.
I mean, we've been in this scene for a long time, and we look at long-term goals, and which is why it's a huge reason why we stay with Alliance for like 3 years, because we feel that the organization has been good for us, and
We like the brand.
we like the brand because we built it. And I hope that younger players can understand that when they talk about something or think about something, don't think about how much money you'll be getting for a year. Think about for long term. If you want to be a professional player for more than 3 years,
In the long run.
yes, you
right?
have to understand that you don't burn bridges in an industry as small as esports, because it's always the same few people around, and when you do that, you put yourself in a position where, well, next time maybe you get worse as a player and you want to look for a team and no one would take you, because
Perfectly agree.
and
That's so true.
that is what I want players to understand. So I hope they do.
Jonathan, what do you think is the one thing that people definitely do not know about you?
The one thing, I don't know if people know this, but I grew up in Congo Kinshasa.
Really? No, I did not know that.
So I lived there from like 4 months to 3.5 years.
Do
So
you
I don't
have any
really
memories from that?
have some very subtle memories. Very sad memories that I've kind of got retold as well. I had a monkey as well.
You had a monkey.
A
Yeah.
pet monkey.
Pet monkey.
In South Africa.
No, it
Like
wasn't
a
South Africa.
capuchin
Oh,
monkey?
Congo.
One of those
I'm not
capuchin
so.
monkeys?
Yeah, well, it's like it was like this big. I don't really know monkeys.
Like the one from Friends, the series?
Yeah, well, almost like that. But it died very quickly. So.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, it was a terrible story actually. I don't know. It had a rope around its stomach.
You're bumming us.
No,
out.
I know, but I have to tell the whole story. It had
Okay,
a rope around its
go ahead.
stomach, and then it was playing in the field or whatever outside the house, and then it climbed up to the roof. And then when it jumped down, the rope got stuck in the drainage thing, for the rain,
Yeah.
and the rope like went up and got stuck around his neck,
Oh God.
and he died. Yeah, it was like a week after I got him.
Traumatizing.
Yeah, luckily I don't remember so much. But
You remember everything.
Yeah, you remember everything.
yeah, there was a
rope
lot of
went
those
up.
tragic stories actually. Yeah.
It's your story.
My best friend, except the monkey, was a huge turkey that our family got as
Yeah,
a
his
present.
best friend when he was young was a huge
Did you know the big bird?
turkey.
Yeah, I know.
Already
Yeah.
has for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then
Thanksgiving.
for Christmas, my parents told me that it ran away and he was gone. And I ate him for dinner that same evening. So
Oh no!
there's a lot of tragic stuff that
Happened
went
to
on.
me with a pet rabbit.
Oh really? You ate the pet rabbit? Yeah, it's the same. I know
That's a delicacy in France.
it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, maybe people don't know.
Well, I never ate my pet cat or pet turtle, so
No one knew that about you.
yeah, no one knew.
Not too late for that, Kelly.
I never
You
did.
never know. Thank you guys so much. Any shout outs?
Shout outs to our amazing sponsors, Monster and Logitech, and shout out to the rest of the team that is not here for being amazing guys and players. And shout out to you.
I want to shout out to all Alliance fans. Like, you keep me and the team going all these past months. I've seen a lot of very happy tweets and like to ask us to keep us going. And that when I'm on a really bad day and I open my Twitter, I read all these things. It just makes me feel like
It helps a lot.
keeps going. Like, it just keeps you like, okay, wake up.
Energized.
I have to keep going. And I also want to shout out to my friends who have been supporting me the past few months because I've been really stressed out with work. They're back home in Singapore. They spend a lot of time with me. And shout out to my team for being amazing as always.
Thank you so much.
And shout out to Romania. Bucharest, we love you. The fans here are amazing. Like,
Yeah.
we love the fans here.
They are, aren't they?
That's why we won the last time.
Yeah, and that's why you're gonna win the next time.
Yeah.
For sure,
This one
for
was
sure.
slightly different. It was not like DreamHack Bucharest. It was Star Ladder. So
Yeah, so
we went
were-
like 50% of the way because it was like 50% power. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah. Sure.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Best
so much
of
for
luck
doing the
to you
interview.
guys. And
Thank
take
you.
care and see you here next time, hopefully. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.